Hey there, Lana here. Welcome back to the New Human podcast. If you're here, you're probably someone who's doing the deep work, not just to heal, but to evolve. You're someone who's felt the shifts, the subtle ones, and the seismic ones. You're someone who's learning how to live as your future self now. And if that's you, then you might have noticed something really disorienting happening right after you do a big up level. Old fear, old habits, old emotional spirals that make you think, wait, I thought I already healed this. This episode is about that moment because it is not what it seems. So here's what happens: you have a breakthrough, you expand into a new frequency. Maybe it's subtle, like more peace. Maybe it's huge, like a reclamation of your truth, your power, your voice, your mission. You land there and you can feel it, like you know something real has shifted. And then, bam, you're suddenly swimming in old energy again. You're doubting everything, your body feels shaky, you spiral in fear or urgency or scarcity or whatever your go to survival frequency has been in the past. And your mind says, see, you were fooling yourself, nothing changed. But here's what's actually going on: you're not regressing, you're being shown what no longer belongs at this level of your evolution. And these aren't random tests, they're invitations from your own field asking you, is it safe now to live from this new frequency? Do you trust it enough to stay here when things get shaky? Can we let go of this pattern like for reals? It's not punishment, it's integration. I want to tell you about what happened to me recently. I had just done this massive energetic reclamation work. Did a guided feminine energy activation on the water. I felt fully in my body, fully clear. I heard the word presence echo in me like a divine bell. And I thought, yes, this is it. This is me. I'm here. And then, out of nowhere, I spiraled into super intense fear, mental fear, not physical, about my kids, about safety and loss. And it came so fast. It was like a massive storm just like rolled in out of nowhere. And what made it even more intense for me was that I recognized the flavor of it. This wasn't just random worry, it was old and it felt super familiar. It reminded me of every single trauma loop I'd ever lived through, just dressed up in a new outfit. And I could see the branching timelines, the possible outcomes, and the fear. It felt like truth. But this time was different for me because I actually knew what it was. I wasn't being attacked, I was being offered a choice. And in the middle of that spiral, as hard as it was, I spoke a single sentence out loud. I said, I am no longer available to learn through trauma. And when I said that, everything shifted. It wasn't like an immediate lightning bolt or anything, but it was cellular, like my body was like clicking into place. My fields stilled and my mind got quiet. And my nervous system, I could feel it like recalibrating. I was no longer spiraling because I was choosing. It was so powerful. What I've learned is this: when your frequency rises, your field does a sweep. It brings everything out from the shadows that isn't in alignment, and it doesn't do it to shame you, but it does it to ask, is this still yours? Like, are we still doing this? And because we are living in a time of accelerated evolution, this is happening faster and more often. And it's not because we're failing, it's because we're ready. So if you're someone who's doing the work and then feeling like you're falling backward, please hear this. You're not failing and you're not falling. You're being offered the next layer of liberation, but it only activates if you recognize it for what it is. And let's talk about declarations. You've heard people talk about affirmations before. I'm a huge fan of them. But what I'm talking about is something way deeper because declarations are actually timeline codes. They're not wishes, they're not aspirations, they're literally commands you send through the quantum field. anchored by your embodied presence. So when I said, I'm no longer available to learn through trauma, I wasn't hoping it would be true. I was installing it into my timeline. I was telling my body, fear no longer gets to teach me. I was telling my soul, the curriculum has changed. I was telling my reality, match me here or get out. And it did. Declarations only work when you speak them from presence, though, not desperation and not fantasy. It's not a bypass. But when you speak it from the place inside you that knows it's already done, so that future self place, it's already done. Here's a few others that have come through me or clients that I've worked with over the past couple of weeks. I trust my stability more than my chaos. I remember who I am, even when I feel afraid. My expansion is safe. I create through choice, not crisis. Speak these, repeat them, but most importantly, embody them because embodiment is everything. So, what do you do in the moment when the fear spiral comes? Well, here's what I do and what I guide my clients through. First, pause. Don't analyze, don't fix, just notice and get really curious. Second, breathe into your body. So, put your hand on your solar plexus or your heart or both, and then you name what's resurfacing and you can say it aloud. This is the old trauma teacher, or this is the old pattern, or this is my old loop. Then you ask, what do I want to choose now? Not what you're afraid of, not what do I fear, but what do I choose? Then you speak your declaration and you think of it like planting a flag. You're anchoring it into your field. You're going to feel it. And then you let the energy complete. Sometimes it just needs your acknowledgement of, yeah, we're done with this to move. And this is how we become the new human. And it's not by never feeling fear or looping, but by learning how to respond differently when it shows up. So, if you're in this moment right now, if you're feeling like you've taken two steps forward and one step back, if your old stories are louder than your new self, just take a breath. You're not broken. You're not regressing. You're not failing. You're upgrading. You've been given a choice to loop or to leap. And the leap is simple it's in presence, it's declaration, it's choice. You're not waiting for the new timeline to arrive. You are the new timeline. So let this moment be the moment that you choose it, not through trauma, but through truth. So hopefully this was helpful today. And let me know in the comments what you are declaring. What's something that you're done with? What's something that you are embodying now? What's the flag that you're planting on your timeline that you're walking? Because it's so much more helpful when we can do this together and we can support one another. So thank you for spending some time with me today. This is short and sweet, but I wanted to get this out there because it's very present for me. And I've noticed this with clients as well that are shifting that when we go into the regression feelings, we can kind of lose steam. So I just wanted to encourage you and give you a new framework to experience this through. So thank you so much for being with me. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are on your path. And closing this out with a big reminder that together we rise.